What's going on, YouTube? Time for another recap. So, yeah, had a banger of a day today, which we usually do. We're doing pretty good on the green streak here. And one of the things that we had posted today was CPI day. So, into the old X account we go, and we called CPI. This is what we type for our chat, but if you've been following the YouTube, you know for days and days and days I was calling for a GP tag. And we'll go over that in a minute. For a little bit. So I posted this, then I said our chat was calling for the CPI drop for quite some time. Algos and GP calling down to here. So I drew a big old red candle for CPI before it happened because that was our expectation. I also posted this one before. I said, big tweet from the orange fellow, interest rate should be lowered. Something which go hand in hand, upcoming tariffs. Let's rock and roll America. And then I said, right before CPI, perfectly planned scam downside. Trump Wicks will crash this down. So thanks for the confirmation there, my man, on the Trump tweet. So we were right about the CPI down. And looking at the Discord here, we did trade before CPI and into CPI. I told my chat as well as we go through here, I said CPI core, if it's over 3.3%, it's game over to the downside, which was expected. That's what we were needing. But we kind of had some help from the algos and unfilled 1 minutes and imbalances. And I'll go over this in the video on how I predicted the downside of the CPI and what to look for. So had some couple good little scalps here, good CPIs. We ended up at 4,000 something today. Where is it? I gotta find the thing. Oh, it's over there. All right, on the top steppies, we got our next round of expressies. If you know my chat, you know what we're doing here. But little express counties, 1270 across all four expresses. So we did about 4,400 or so today. Or 48, 2, 4, 6, 8. I can't add. 4,800 bucks today on the express fundeds. Always trade through the top steps. So let's get into how we made almost 5 grand. So when I left my chat, I said, chat, please, Apple, let me adjust this. Please. Hey, there we go. I said, chat, I wrote him a play here. And we were worried about the GPs, right? Golden pocket tags and this opening value, big old zone down here. So let's talk about it. So I made a little level right here. And I keep these in the journal for the playlist for everybody as well in the Discord. So I had this typed up and placed way before. Okay, short under 50 fib, 1 minute CPI down to the 100 EMA. And then, of course, we talked about VWAP and lower for the gray box targets. Okay, I targeted these gray box before I left my chat, and I said, these are your short targets. Okay, biggest one being the first one, the GP. Look to the right. Well, lo and behold, we got her. So I drew this pretty red candle. I'm going to delete this. I drew exactly where the resistance zone would be here in orange for the lower high confirmation. Excuse me. And I said under the 50 1 minute right here. So what does that mean? Well, the 50 fib from the crazy CPI candle. So what we do here is Fibonacci trading. We take the high and the low, and then we worry about the golden pocket, which is the center between the 38.20 and 61.8. So I said under 526.10 will result down into the gray box zone and the 100 EMA as we called before it happened, like we tried to do. It's not always that easy, but it was to the last couple of days here. So let's get into it. So we have open gaps here of no Fibonacci 50 tag. So that means if I were to come to these candles on every single one of these candles and do a high low like this on the fib, I would not receive a tag of the center golden pocket between the 61.8 and 38.20. If we make it a little bigger there, you can see right there, there's no golden pocket tag. So I started drawing the gray boxes down, and I said, watch for those downside metrics to come hit because we're definitely going to come back down for a little bit of a correct after that little pump. So came into the top golden pocket of CPI. So I colored this neon purple. See, that's the golden pocket. See to your right here. Right there, 38.26.8. So remember, this purple box channel, that's the CPI center from high-low 1 minute. So once it came up to the top of that, I said, it's pretty much game over. We got to come back down and at least test some of these here. And the first one for me was the 100 EMA, which we got right here. VWAP, obviously, right here. So when something breaks over a price level, a VWAP, or a moving average, we expect to see a downside back test. Okay, that's called confirmation trading. So when you look at the price action here that blew apart both the 100 EMA on the 1 minute in the green and the purple dash line. You guys can see that totally. The purple dash line being the volume weighted average price. Once it snapped over both of those down here with some huge momentum, I figured we would back test those. So we called the top right here on the lower, right here on the lower high, and we said we were coming on down. And we picked this right here for the no GP tag first. And of course, you look for the confirmations on 3 up, 3 down, and all the other metrics we use. So let's look at some confirmations here. On the 5 minute, just a note right here, you have a 3 down, okay? The high day at that point in time, push down was 1, 2, 3, right? That got us our golden pocket target we were talking about, as well as the 100 EMA that we labeled ahead of time. Now, this did reverse really high, so let's talk about confirmations on which way we needed to go. 10 SMA daily was a big part of that trade today. See this big dash blue line right here that's all the way across the screen? That is the 10 SMA, but on the daily chart, we take that daily chart moving average and we shove it into our 1 minute intraday charts in 5 minutes, so we don't have to have a bunch of different charts. If you join our service and you jump into the Discord, all those indicators are free, no extra charge. So if you're interested in some of those fun indicators that puts the moving averages inside, and we always like to know where those are on the daily, weekly, hop on in. So again, we have the breakup on the 5 minute here, the back test, and the roll up. So let's talk confirmations here. Let's get our oscillation up. So I said stay short, stay short, stay short to my chat because we were planning for this short we had on the screen, and we labeled down to the gray boxes, which we got. One big takeaway here is we got scammoed here. This is cool though, because this comes to be able to trade later now, right? Let's look at the confirmations. Wasn't much going on, right? So if we back up here a little bit, I just wanted to touch base on this. The RSI and MACD's kind of unusable. So when we seen a small red wave right here, right, selling's done. You can't find anything as far as bearish, right? So confirmationally wise, if I say stay short, we're coming down to the gray box, which we did hit. We shied the fib by like a couple pennies. We'll talk about that in a second. But look at the RSI. Comes back up, holds that 50 top channel, and just kind of hovers. Now, MACD being way more important, had the full-on reversal green waves here, gave you a tiny sell wave right here. And my chat knows reversal or continuation happens around 10:30, 11 for the European algo shutdown, and it picked upside trend continuation. Wasn't reversal, which fine by us. It's all confirmation trading to me, so doesn't matter. What happens is we look for this now coming in, because this little dude, 9:15 Central, has no GP tag. So a golden pocket, if you're still confused, is when we draw a high low of a candle and we utilize the 61.8 to the 38.20. That's the golden pocket. I don't care about the other fibs that are supposed to be here or the magical extensions or what everybody else uses. This is what we use. And that's fine. That's all I need. So the no GP tag and no VWAP back test shy resulted in another further squeeze. So there was no extra confirmation to the downside. All it did was break over the what? 10 SMA daily, and then back tested the 10 SMA daily zone and actually confirmed strength along with the RSI and MACD. So you would have known not to stay short blindly and just hope for the best. We don't do that. So some of the cool parts now about the CPI being all the way filled up, right? Because we came back to the algo pretty much to the penny. I don't know if that's a complete fill. Nope. We still have a fill there. So we have a long way down now. And what do we usually do? Well, we look for the no GP tags coming in. So I would be very cautious with the levels that we have right here on this big 5 minute no tag, because price action will inevitably come down to a no tag GP. Speaking of no tag GPs, let's get into how I predicted the CPI and why we thought it was downside, right? So first and foremost, back here when we opened 2 day prior, let's get into 5 day, 5 minute. Got to get back a little bit more. There we go. We had this daunting sell-off, right? And then we had a mega reversal candle at the open. I told my chat to get out of the way of the market when I seen this candle be developed. I said, it's never coming back down to backtest anything. Get out the way. This was an opening candle, right? For the Buttes with a no GP tag. So let's scoot this over to the right, and you're going to notice right away I have these labeled already. I didn't need to make this, but I have the no GP open 5 minute, the 10th, Monday, February, all labeled up. And you see, as I drew the Fibonacci, what did I pick up? The golden pocket, right? So these dashed lines were already here because I was tracking where that fib was. Where's the bottom of today? Ooh, weird, huh? So these algo magnets, they come back to themselves. And we had this for 2 days now saying the CPI was going to come back down to fill at least this. SPY is always a better trader, SPY ES. So if you're looking at QQQ and NQ and expecting this to hit algos like SPY does, please don't. Utilize SPY and ES algorithms completely different than you do QQQ. I teach a little bit of between the two. So SPY also came into some really big support. We can talk about that real quick. 50 SMA daily, which just like the 10 SMA daily, we have coded here in the dash red. Okay. So we had a really big over under that we had picked for the day too. I put my over unders in purple, and there's a lot of mixed drawings here. All right, let's look at it. So let's go over a couple of these on ES real fast, then I'll give you the final prediction on how I did the CPI. So for this downside move, I have this big drawn up this green candle here. Let's delete because we had lots of trade calls here. We're utilizing the over under of this fib 602.36. And that was my purple zone right here. It was over under. Then I drew this big fat red candle and I said, it's going to do this right here. So holy moly. So I drew this big fat red candle before I left 10 a.m. Had a couple work meetings and stuff for my other business. So as I come into this, I drew it. I'm just going to move it over to the right so you can see it. And then I picked the gray zone and I picked this green zone, long target if over purple zone. And then I told the crew I drew this red. Wait, how's there two of them? Must have duplicated it. Oops. And I told my crew if we go under, again, back down under yesterday's lows, short, which we had that plan written out on QQQ like you've seen, we have another no tag GP. Now notice this one, okay? This was a big precursor. Let's build the same QQQ trade. And this is what I'm talking about. We had this green down here. We said it would back test for the short, over under purple for the open. That was long, right? So look at the sentiment on the same candle, no GP, but on SPY instead of QQQ, SPY always being the better trader. So QQQ did not hit that golden pocket tag, right? Let's make it real clean here. I'll get all my targets out of the way so you guys can see this indefinitely. I'll even do the big ones. I redraw this stuff all day, every day, because I always forget to save it. So no hair off my back. So as we miss Zoom again, get into the 5-minute, best YouTuber ever, anti-influencer. I'm terrible at this. Oh my goodness. See, I didn't click that. That was not me at that time. This is a MacBook Pro trying to function on Thinkorswim, which does not happen. Mac is garbage when it comes to Thinkorswim. PC's not much better, just slightly. So, okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Okay, cool. We'll leave it at that. Sorry, guys. 5-minute high-low, no GP. But like we said on the QQQ versus SPY, what happened here on the SPY? Breaks up, finds 10 SMA, finds golden pocket. These are all things that we talk about on the channel all day, every day, where we get them as in every video. Go check my recaps. Comes back down, tags the GP, and reverses perfectly, okay? Unlike the QQQ, SPY is always the better trader. So let's look at this on the 1 minute real quick because we had the same outlook on both tickers on this one where we needed to come down to the 100 EMA from the short of the no tag. Again, this is the no tag. This is the 5-minute high-low. We just moved to the 1 minute chart. Here's the GP. And I said to my crew, under the golden pocket and under the 50, which is CPI candle, same thing on SPY as it is high-low on QQQ. And another thing down to the GP we called. So went lower high, down to 100 EMA, GP to the penny, and see ya. Now let's take a peek at the remaining algos. I'll give you a freebie here. This is how I predicted the CPI. This is the open algo of the day. This left a 1 minute gap. And speaking of 1 minute gaps, let me show you something cool. I'm going to mark this one down so I don't remember. I don't forget. I don't remember to mark it off. Open. Now let's go to the Qs for the final. How the hell did I did this? QQQ had a 1 minute no tag. If you're following my channel, I said it was going to come back down to the golden pockets, which I'll go over at the last part of this video. But on the QQQ, we had a very, very sneaky little algo here. And I got to go back a little bit to find, oh, we're not on QQQ. I was like, why does this look so ridiculous? Got to change the ticker, Brandon. There we go. We had a sneaky little algo on the QQQ. Sorry, guys. Best YouTuber ever I know. Patience, my friend. I'm not a YouTuber or an editor or anything. I am just a trader. All right. So this algo was developed off a no tag. We had some actual really close tags of this 1 minute, but no actual fills. I'm actually looking for it right now, and I don't think I have it low enough here. Or we might even not even be far enough back. That's why. Ta-da! All right, bear with me here. So this gap was left wide open like the one we just made. I'm just going to change it neon like friggin' pink so we can find it. 521.98. So these open algos happen on the minute chart, okay? And there's a system I use for if they're going to fill the same day or if they're going to fill later. I got a lot of systems for these. These are the bread and butter. But notice now way back here on 2.5. This 1 minute was open, left open, almost tagged, right? And that was right here on 2.7. Didn't tag, but the pink level, remember, 521.98. Brandon said CPI short. Let's take a look at where the CPI happened to land. Oh, to the 1 minute bottom. Get out of my face. algorithms in open pocket magnets and Fibonacci. This is how I trade. I understand algos very, very, very well here. I might not be a very good YouTuber or a recorder or editor, but at least I can trade. So it saves space, I hope, for you guys here in the YouTube land. So as we came back down, we found to the exact penny the 1 minute gap target algo. So at the open for the CPI, I had some shorts on and shorted the pop to short up there at the CPI, no GP, which I'm not going to give that away, but we had the beautiful one and we were short on the CPI. Now, pro traders and traders alike, I don't want you guys trading through CPI. That is usually a gamble if you don't know what's going on in the algorithm. Sometimes you can predict them. A lot of the times you cannot. There is no guarantee. There's no 100% trade strategy. It does not exist, so please don't think it. But the 1 minute gap needed to fill today. So this is pre-market. This is live. So when I seen the to the penny fib back here nail my 1 minute gap open that I've been waiting for, all I needed to know was where the price action was at open. So I told I'm not going to go get it. I told my chat this in Discord. My members know that I said, no matter where it's at, all this is going to get pinned and it's going to open right near this 1 minute regardless. And then whatever the price action sits, either the price action is above the pink algo and runs into it or below the pink algo and runs into it, we will take that opening trade. So I seen a little bit of the pop and I shorted NQ right into there and got out. That was the first opening morning scalp. Okay. And then it had this wild squeeze back up, which we expected, right? Because I predicted the reverse as well. So we came into the high-low CPI. And for our rule set here, we'll delete this. Just purple, high-low, boom. Where the hell is the other? Oh, there it is. Right here. And here, high-low. The golden pocket right here needs to be tagged if the lower of the CPI is recovered as support. So once I seen price action hold the algo and stay above the 50 SMA, we squeezed into here. Notice the price action told you right here. Ding, 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 ding. Had a little consolidation, had a little thought process and said, nah, I think we're good right here because that's the bottom of the CPI. And then schlammo right into, you guessed it, my favorite trading, like always, golden pocket. So if something has created a giant candle like this, and if we get inside the low of that candle, which is right here at 523, we will generally return to the first leg of the GP, which is 524, 537. So we ran up a couple micros here. We scalped a whole bunch of this. It's like over 100 some points, regardless of what it is. And that's that. So if any of this sounds good, you want to see me do some weird stuff like, predict stuff before it happens, or at least attempt to without blowing my accounts wide open. Wink, wink. My chat knows. Come on and trade with us live. Links in the description. If you want to stick to for the next YouTube video for free, I also appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever the YouTubers say nowadays. And tune in for the next one. If you have something you want me to cover, if you're interested, if you got questions, if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about half the time on no GPs, please tell me. Or join into the Saturday Live. This Saturday, 12 o'clock, noon Central, I'll be on giving my 2025 predictions, my sentiments for January, what to look forward to. And if you got questions, I'll be on live there and you can ask them there for free. All right, tune in. Take care.